Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of ENSentral's Builder Spotlight. I'm here with the Crypto Reporter, and joining us today is Gweiman. Gweiman, thanks for coming on.
Yes, sir. Happy to be here, man. Happy to get a second try at this one right here.
Yeah, so for those of you who may not understand, we had some technical difficulties, so this is our kind of second run through the beginning of this. But for anybody who doesn't know who you are and didn't get to listen to the first run of this, who is Gweiman? This could be Web3 or in real life as well.
All right. So I'm Gweiman, as everybody knows me as. It's Gweiman.eth. And I am a 25-year-old Web3 enthusiast, and I'm very passionate about ENS and blockchain technology. I'm also a husband and a father, and I'm an ENS connoisseur, so I think I already said that, but you guys kind of get the gist of that. Um, but yeah, long story short, Gray Man is a nobody who happened to spend a lot of time on Twitter, and now he has a lot of friends that are very smart and do a lot of cool things, and I get to kind of ride the waves and then strike when I see an opportunity to.
Awesome, and I know we, mentioned it just a second ago, but, you're also a Constitution signer as well, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I signed the Constitution. I signed it with, I did not sign it underneath the name of Gweiman.eth, though. I signed it underneath the first name that I ever registered, which was OwnCrypto.eth. So it's not my actual like alias and it's not what I choose to go by. But whenever I first got into ENS, I didn't look at it as a username. I kind of just treated like conventional domaining. And I try to grab a name that I thought somebody might want to buy one day or somebody could build off of. And then the fact that you don't just buy crypto or trade crypto, like you're supposed to, like you really own it. It's about self sovereignty here. I wanted to, I figured own crypto.eth was like a killer name. I was really excited to have that. So I registered own crypto.eth as my first name. And then I was lucky enough to make it before the deadline for the Constitution signers. So I was in that first 80,000 people. I'm actually on the second to last page. So that's it's very cool, something I'm proud of. I purchased the Constitution. I got it in my office. I look at it almost every day. I don't go reading it, it's just a bunch of names signed there, but I get to kind of flex it, and I feel like I'm a piece of history. So I like to just get a reminder and look at the real thing.
Did you have any I know you mentioned that you were looking at your first purchase like a domainer. Did you have any experience buying, like, .com domains or anything like that before?
I had no experience with conventional domaining. I remember as a kid hearing about it. I thought people were crazy that like so much meant just like, oh, okay, you got a cool name in front of .com. Why is it worth that much money and stuff like that? But as I got older, I kind of understood how that stuff works. And one thing that helped me with that a lot is video gaming. I remember I used to play some Call of Duty with some buddies. We used to all use like these snipers and stuff like that. Am I allowed to curse on this?
Dylan did plenty last week, so, that's
Okay,
good
okay.
with us.
'Cause I almost did, but I didn't. So,
No, no,
I'll
you're
try
good.
I'll try not to though, but, so yeah, we used to, like, have, like, this little team or, like, people that use a bunch of snipers, and we'd all, like, get together all the time and whatnot, and I remember a buddy of mine, for whatever reason, it's like, how, like, just funny names, it's like, man, that's a dope name, even if it's just some random, but it's funny, and it just stands out. Well, he ended up buying an Xbox name. Uh, it was Yellow Pencil. I don't know why he wanted Yellow Pencil and why he thought it was like so. We'll call it a grail. But I remember like at the time I had like no money, and then to have a friend drop like $250 on a name called Yellow Pencil for his Xbox and buy it off somebody. I said, "You guys are crazy," but I just tried to learn from that. And instead of me just going, what the heck? I was like, if I ever see an opportunity to like grab some killer names, I'm gonna like do that. So as I got older and the video gaming, it was like, okay, there's value in these names. And then especially with social media coming out and just killer handles and a clean handle, like what it can mean for you. So I figured it would kind of roll over into this kind of stuff.
I just checked it out while you were talking there. Yellowpencil.eth is available if you wanna let him know, just to give him a heads up there.
I don't know the guy no more, but I might squat it, knowing that
Yeah,
he's a fan.
you know he's gonna pay if it's there, so
Yeah, he did it for Xbox, man. You're gonna wanna do it for your Web3. This stuff's gonna be, Xbox times 1,000.
mhm.
Exactly. So, wait, man, question for you. So, you already said what was your first ENS name, right? But how do you get into ENS just in general? You're just following certain people on Twitter? Like, what sparked your interest?
All right, so to do a quick backstory, even before the EMS, and just to sum it up, uh, there's not a lot of investment conversation in my family. There's not a lot of people that hold like assets to where I didn't like, I wasn't hip to stocks. I wasn't hip to especially digital assets, and especially not crypto. So where my journey started, and it happened pretty fast, was I first got into stocks. And I got into stocks from joining this little YouTube group, which I know is silly because you're not supposed to take YouTubers' advice, but as a newcomer, that's just how it goes, and that's why I think it happens a lot more than people realize. That's why you even have these big people like Big Boy Crypto, like he's so big, and a few other people are just like big because people do. They go to YouTube and they learn some stuff. We got a lot of free knowledge at our fingertips if you know where to find it. So I ended up finding this group called the Trading Fraternity, and we would call ourselves the Cult. And so it was definitely a little bit wicked to think about, and it sounded kind of funky. So I couldn't tell nobody about it. 'Cause they'd probably think I was up to some weird stuff. But so yeah, so I was in there and I learned a lot about stocks and just financing in general. He kind of gave some lessons on money all around, a couple good books to read and stuff like that. That's where I actually found one of my favorite books ever. It's called Richest Man in Babylon. And it comes down to finances and kind of it's Babylon was like a very rich place back in the day. And it's kind of like it's almost like the city of money. Like it's like where people really started to trade and to just put money to use. So how people kind of grew their fortunes and how it all started. It was just a history of money. So that's a good book. If anybody listening ever wants to check it out, it's pretty short and it'll teach you a lot. But so I learned about Richest Man of Babylon. I learned about stocks. And I remember one day I was listening and he brought up somebody brought up Ethereum. It was back when like Bitcoin was doing decent. And the guy that I was listening to, and he was a pretty smart fella. So at the time, I was taking his word on some things, and he didn't shill it or nothing, but he said, "Man, Ethereum is dope." Because somebody was talking about Bitcoin, he's like, "Yeah, Bitcoin is good." He said, "But Ethereum is dope." I like the emphasis he had on the dope. I said, "Okay, I might have to check that out." So I ended up kind of going nerdy on the Ethereum studies, and I started to really look into it. I purchased this book called Into the Ether, and it was about the Ethereum Foundation, how it started out, how their team broke up, all this and that. Um, but I was doing anything I could, from reading to watching to listening to like anything I could to like, expand my knowledge on this Ethereum stuff. Because as I mentioned, my family and like just people around me, they weren't investing in stuff. Like a lot of people I know still don't have any. They don't have a share in anything. They don't have a coin in anything. They don't have anything. We just work and pay bills. So I was trying to find something that's like a little bit of a break away from that and kind of just try to learn about it and see why so much of the world is invested in it. And what I did was once I did find out about Ethereum, I took my whole stock portfolio, which wasn't worth a lot, and I liquidated it and I moved that stuff into crypto. And I put all my money that I had to play with. That pretty much I didn't need to pay bills that month, and I purchased some Ethereum, and it was enough to purchase about it was about 2 coins, actually. So I was close to 2 Ethereum, which wasn't a lot of money because you gotta think, at this time, Ethereum was like $600, I think. So I put like, 12,
Okay, really?
$1,300. Yeah, yeah, it was before like the rip, and that's what I mean. So it was before things really went ham, and that's what kinda got me hooked was like, $600 for this imaginary coin was a lot, but, um I just did it, and then, at the top of this cycle, we ran to, like, 4,800 or something like 4,400, I forget where we topped at, but still $600 to 4,000 is something that, like, really blew me away, and, I remember I just remember, yes, I remember buying the coins, and then I thought that I was like, "Man, I'm gonna make it." I was looking at like, none of my buddies got this stuff, and then I didn't realize what a whale was and how much people really had in this stuff. So I remember actually one day I was playing some Call of Duty. I was playing some Warzone. I had a guy on my team, and in my actually clan tag, I had ETH. And the dude was like, "Yo, you're into Ethereum?" And I like got geeked. I was like, "Yeah, bro, somebody finally wants to talk about it." I'm like, "Yeah, bro, I got some Ethereum, bro. Like, we're gonna be stacked." He's like, "Hell yeah, how much you got?" I said, "I got about 2 coins, bro." And dude just laughed. And I said, "What the hell?" He literally just laughed and then like muted me the rest of the game. And I said, "Man." Like he had to be, he knew what he was doing, and I thought that I was ahead of the game. And then that conversation really, I was like, damn man, maybe I'm not as big as I thought. So but yeah, that's just a fun little Ethereum story. But so I was into this Ethereum and I went so like deep into it, and it's running up. So I'm like really going like I'm just loving this stuff, and I wanted to know as much as I could. So I was looking deeper into Vitalik or Vitalik, however anyone
B-Dog.
wants to pronounce it. Yeah, we call him V Dog here. So I started looking into V Dog, and I was like, man, this dude is smart, bro. He's brilliant. So I was like, I need to like kind of I'm gonna listen to this guy. I'm gonna follow his moves if I can. And I ended up making a Twitter for like nerding out on this stuff. And at the time too, I just gotta point this out is I remember hearing about people buying these 8 pictures for like 6 ETH and like 8 ETH and 10 ETH and stuff. And I remember telling my girl I was joking about it because she was like, "You're so into this stuff. Like that's all you care about." And I'm like, "Look," I said, "this stuff's gonna make us some money one day." I said, "No, if I ever go off the crazy edge and I end up buying some pictures with this ETH, then you can like, you can leave me if you want to." And here we are in the NFT world now. But I just remember clowning the people like, why would you buy a picture of an ape for 6 ETH and stuff like that? Because I just couldn't fathom that. But, that's a conversation for later. So, getting into ENS, I was going crazy about the Vitalik stuff. I made the Twitter. I said, I'm gonna really deep dive on this stuff, and I found, Vitalik on Twitter so I could shoot him a follow. But the first thing I noticed is Vitalik.eth, and I'm like, what is that? And then I kind of just seen like people he replied to, people that like he was talking to on Twitter, and a lot of these people were rocking .eth. So I ended up looking it up. I was like, what is this .eth? And I remember Googling it, and I found, or maybe I checked this thread, like I just checked like a .eth or just something. I forget exactly what it was, but I remember I seen Vitalik using the name. And again, I said, man, this guy's brilliant. Like if he's talking about something, I need to get with it. And, that's what made me look up the dot .eth, what did that mean? And that's when I found the ENS page, like, I found this on my own, nobody showed me ENS, and I seen it, and I was like, "Okay, that's pretty cool." So, I looked at it, and I was like, "They want me to spend some of my Ethereum for one of these." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine." It's like a domain or like a username or, a clan tag type deal. So, I actually only purchased 2 names off the jump, and the first name I registered was OwnCrypto.eth, and that's because I found the site myself, and I seen it wasn't too expensive. And I remember at the time too checking like short names, like just cool stuff, and thinking like, "Whoa, 160 a year, whoa, 600 a
Right.
year," and I totally was like, "No, I can't do that, but I'll do the $5 a year." And at the time, gas was crazy, so like,
Right.
I'm paying 120 for like one of these names, even though it's $5 because I didn't know how to check Etherscan, I didn't know how to check what Gwei was, I didn't know
Right.
what the hell Gwei was at first. um, so I did know a little bit about the Gwei from the reading. I did, but and that's where I came up with the Gweiman name. But the first name I registered was OwnCrypto.eth, and then I registered Gweiman.eth, and I felt cool because I was involved and I had these names, and it was just those two. And then that was February of 20 was it 2020 or 2021? I think it might have been 2021. So it was February 2021 when I grabbed these names, and I was just like, all right, I got some, my first NFTs ever because I found out they were NFTs and like they ended up popping up in my wallet and stuff like that. And I said, okay, I actually got some of these things, and I'm looking at these pictures of these apes go crazy, and I'm like, somebody's gonna want a cool name. So I just registered 2 names, and then I kind of called it quits. And it's funny because I went into the after that I started diving into ENS. So I went to Vitalik's page and stuff, and I'm looking up just anything he said about ENS. I'm looking up on YouTube. And I remember him, he was very vocal about ENS, and he shared a lot of insight that made me really like look at it different. I said, well, this thing is actually really big. Like this could be huge. So my first like teachings were from V Dog himself, just from him like not even shilling it, but just representing it and voicing his opinion on it. I'm gonna say he shielded. I'm gonna say V Dog shielded. So, shout out V Dog. But, so I got my first names, and then I kinda called it quits for a couple months. And I remember finding the ENS page, and they had a Discord. I went into the Discord, and there's a bunch of people talking. So these guys are all in there like I remember this one guy was trying to sell fam.eth for like 1 ETH, and I'm like, "Nobody's gonna pay 1 ETH for that." Like, little did I know, like, fam's a banger. I wish I would've bought it back then.
Right.
But, so I remember in this Discord, people were shilling their names, and I tried selling my name as soon as I picked them up. I was like, I got OwnCrypto.eth for 0.75, and I got Gweiman for like 0.33. Like you can go and look into the Discord and literally go back to like just me trying to shill those if you really care to go back far enough. And that's what cracks me up because I was trying to sell these names as soon as I got them. I didn't even think about like really repping it. But so yeah, I found it just through my own search and the V Dog shill, and then finding the Discord is when I say, okay, people really are flipping these things. Okay, there's a lot of people in here active talking about this stuff, and then it kind of made me take it a little bit more serious. But so I made the Twitter page. I didn't have, I probably had 100 followers. From whenever I started talking about ENS. I was like kind of just following anybody who was a .eth, and then I was using Twitter for what a lot of people use it for, and I was shilling my bag. So I had two of these things, and they weren't grails, but in my eyes, I thought they were good. And I thought I was going to catch a fail. I said, man, I can imagine pulling like an ETH off one of these or something like that. So I was just on Twitter early, and again, this is the first NFT I ever had was ENS. So I went ahead and kinda just made it what I was vocal about on there. I didn't know what to buy as far as pictures and things like that, but I thought a sick username made sense. And then, yeah, so I went from just tweeting and shilling my own little bags to, like, really looking into it, and then, to just taking it a lot more serious. I found Brantley.eth on Twitter. Yeah, he was guerrilla marketing for ENS at the time, doing spaces, doing videos, all this stuff, and it really was like, "Whoa, this guy's making me want more of these." But I held off for a couple months, so that was February, and I believe I got an airdrop, what was it, like August or October or something like that. Once these guys airdropped me these tokens, and then it was like $4,000 USD. I didn't set a primary and I didn't set an avatar, so I didn't have like a primary resolver set, so I missed out on the 2x. It would have been a lot more money.
Oh,
Yeah, because I didn't know about the stuff, so I just had these names and never went that extra step to just pay it, $5 and set it, which I
right.
wish I could have gone back. But, I still didn't fully understand the airdrop when I got it, and I was like, "Man, these guys send me $4,000 for, like, just holding these names." So I was like, "Maybe I should get more in case they do this again." And then that's when the degening started because I was like, I'm gonna buy a lot more of these 'cause, yeah, I said, "Just in case, just to be safe, I'm gonna buy more." But,
Have you
yeah, so I think I exceeded that question a little bit, but I was rolling.
No, the airdrop actually, that's how I wish I was a part of it, obviously, but, that's how I got into it. I didn't know anything about it until I saw the airdrop, and, obviously seeing people get free money is kind of an enticing thing whenever you're, in this space or any space in general.
Oh,
But
yeah.
kinda what you were saying about, going into the Discord and shilling your names right away, like, I, jumped into it and didn't really fully understand what it was, and I had a few good ones that I did the same exact thing. Um I wish I could take it back now. I mean, I had, Doctor ETH, like DRETH. I think it was like, I wanna say Pre-Punk 1000. I sold it for like 0.05, which was, at the time, it was, a lot more with what the price is now than what the price
Yeah.
is now. But I was thinking I did a good job, and then I get eSig.eth and E-Sig.eth. I flipped those for like $700, and now I'm looking at it like, "Oh my gosh, that could be worth so much more one day," and I just completely paper handed it.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. We were probably in the Discord together. We probably were trying to show each other our bag.
Yeah.
But that's just how it goes, and that's just it. He does a lot more at the time of like the airdrop. Like I got the airdrop, and that was the only airdrop I've ever caught in crypto. Again, 'cause I didn't have my hands in a lot of things. People use exchanges. People go where you could hold a gutter cat and get some stuff dropped. You got ape coin drop, just a bunch of things. I didn't know about it yet. So ENS they sent me 116 tokens and I remember looking, I said, "Whoa, this is at $70 earlier today." And it was at like 54 when I was looking at it. And I think I was looking at it and I was like, "Do I hold it? Is it gonna keep going?" Or and then I just kind of said, "Man, this is, that's some free money right here. Like this is about, I told you guys I put like my two ETH was really only like 1,200, $1,400 whenever I got into ETH. So the fact that they dropped me 4K, even though it wasn't still two ETH exactly with the price of ETH, I looked at it like I just made my whole investment back on this ETH stuff. So I had
It's
to
hard to
take it.
beat.
Yeah, yeah, bro. It's hard to beat. It was free money, and I sold the 116 coins at like $51. And I said, man, I'll probably regret that one day. Which I do still think ENS will do good long term, but it didn't make sense to me, like to hold it, like the governance token, the responsibility. That was one thing people, you didn't get dropped money, you got dropped responsibility. I felt responsible to take profits, so that that's what I did with that responsibility. I cashed out on it, and I was pretty happy, and I continued to dump the rest of my ETH into names. I think I went through like maybe like $1,000 at the time for some real life, and then I used the rest on more names. So that's what I chose to do with the airdrop. It was definitely killer, and just to get like that airdrop, it's funny, man. I can't even lie about this. I was so mad I didn't set the resolver. Like I remember I went into Discord and I was like lashing out because I'm like, man, I could have got another 4,000. What you mean? And I told these guys, like I was like, I can't wait to sell these names. I'm done with this. I was just salty. It was like one day, and then like a week later, I said, all right, let's let's think about this. And it was funny because what I did was I used my names. My ETH. I started looking up some good names. I was grabbing brand names. I was grabbing a few other names. And again, I told you guys I found out about a lot of this through YouTube. So I was looking at some crypto YouTubers I watched or that I'd see were pretty popular, and I started going for their names. And the first name I ever sold, it was actually there's a famous she's famous on Twitter for crypto, Wendy O. I think a lot of people know her. So I copped Wendy O.eth. And then I remember I was such a noob, like I was holding it. And what I did is I went and I emailed her team. So I sent them like a cold email from like a fresh Gmail account and was like, yeah, I got this name, like place a bid on it or whatever. And I was like 2 or 3 days later, I got a quarter each bid. And at the time, that was like another $1,000. I said, holy shit. So I was so quick to accept that bid. And some people, they hear that story now, like, bro, you should have held that. Like, or, I got buddies that sold people their names for like 3 or 4 ETH. And at the time, just quarter ETH off something I paid like, $150 for. I said, nah, you tripping. Like, but just like you were saying, that's what made me think about those little flips early on. Looking back, it's like, man, I probably could have. But one thing I don't like to do is if I have somebody's name that I know I kind of, I don't want to say I extorted them, but like let's just say it how it is. Like, you
Yeah.
squatted their name. So I didn't want to if I squat any names, my goal now that I see kind of my role in ENS and at least what I like to be known for is not to like be that person. So I'd like to give people their names and kind of just like, pay me what I put into it and maybe like a little bit extra for like call it protecting it for you. So a quarter ETH at the time for like certain people, I think it's very reasonable. I think a lot of people wanted to do the same.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so easy in this space to make money. And like you're saying, like $4,000 and then look to the left and right and see people making way more and being, like, oh, why didn't I get in earlier? Like, why didn't I get that? I mean, it's just there's so much of a benefit to being early. And the people who join in late still obviously want to see the rewards, but you can't knock $4,000 either way.
Oh yeah, no, and looking at it now, you can check the price of ENS. Like anybody probably said, like I made the right move. Especially for just somebody again, man. I didn't have much ETH. I didn't have much money to where that was like big money to myself. I think I used that 1,000 to I paid off some stuff I need to pay off. I think I like fixed up my car and just some real life stuff that I took this imaginary money that I was iffy on getting involved in, and now I was like pulling it back out to take care of real life things, and that was just a major like eye opener for me. And again, the like V-Dog, like I couldn't get behind buying pictures with like my hard earned money because I didn't understand it at first. And then you're not supposed to blindly trust anybody, but I did put faith in V-Dog, and I said, this man's willing to, he's not rocking no PFP on his page. He's rocking the .eth though. And then I seen the videos of him talking about it. I remember watching a conference of him, just talking about like it's the most useful non-financial application on the Ethereum blockchain is the way he put it. Because it's like not just about the money, but it's like the most useful tool that we have at hand that he sees. Because they were like, "What do you wish people knew more about?" And he straight said ENS, and that's when I was like, "Wow, like okay, I think I'm really early to like this right thing." So, and, we still don't know. A lot of us are still speculating, but I think if it goes where we think it is, we're gonna be able to look back and be like, "Man, all I had to do was like listening to Vitalik." So that's what I tried to do.
I think that's beautiful. I think more people should actually look at what this man is doing, right? Because there is something there. I mean, like you said, he doesn't talk about any other PFP, any other NFT, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
And so the fact that he is repping it on his page is actually saying something. He's like pointing us towards true north, you know?
Yeah,
But,
no, exactly.
if anything, trying to figure out, so that's how you got your start. And so now that we're all the way fast forward here, did you think it was going to grow at the pace that when first initially going into ENS?
Well, I hoped. I definitely was hopeful. I did not because that's kind of where, it's kind of where Gweiman got his legs even on Twitter was there were people in the Discord that weren't as vocal on Twitter. And then I did start to dabble in these NFT collections here and there. I'd find something cheap or like somebody like I seen something cool and I said, you know what, I'm just gonna try because at the time, face it, everybody's looking for the next board ape. Everybody's hoping like, oh, this could be the one. I'll grab one or two of these. Um, so I took a dabble at a few things, and they all like were just they ended up being trash. But what I noticed is I get these things, and I jump into the discords, and nobody you would have a dotty. It's like I go into these collections that nobody knew about that were just like starting up. I didn't see any dotties, man. I didn't see any ENS, no nothing. It was like I was the only guy in there repping. Once I met him on Twitter, and we all be together on Twitter, and nobody else is rocking dotties. And I'm like, man, why does nobody know about this stuff? Like everybody knows how to make a project. Everybody knows how to like buy when the volume's there. Everybody knows when to sell. Why does
Right.
nobody have a dot .eth? So, um, I was like, man, maybe this thing isn't as big. Vitalik's talking about it, but like maybe it's just some stuff that's not that useful. And that's where I get I still got a lot of followers from like those first collections. So like, bro, I remember when you were like you just had this and you were like just this guy, and or like, hey man, you showed me ENS and stuff like that. Actually, one of the earlier collections I was in, that was my second sale ever, was the guy that ran the collection. I remember he made a bunch of money and he ended up buying a Tesla. He was like posting in our chat and everything. And I'm like, man, this dude made money off these things. And he didn't buy his .eth. So I bought his .eth and I sold it to him for $1,000. So that
Wow.
was like another win for myself. And again, it probably looks bad at the time. The guy wasn't happy and he even kind of like aired me out to like everybody in the collection. That was like, hey, you don't mess with me. You bought my name and like you got me for, and I was like, man, like I don't want to do it like this. And that's kind of where I realized I don't want to do it that way because it just makes me look bad. I don't want to be that guy, but it's just like opportunities there. It's like, I could do it and I could sell it to you for a reasonable price, or someone else could do it and expect like you to give them like your left arm.
Or you can get
So
a burner wallet there and have them have no idea that you're doing it, and then you get, a win-win situation right there.
yeah, that's just it. I put the gonads on the table, man, with kahunas. I just let them out, and I'm like, yeah, bro, I got it when you're ready for it, and stuff like that.
Let me know.
It was funny. There was this guy, his name was I forget his first name. His last name is Cartrude. And I don't even know if I should be saying all this, but he was on Twitter, right? This is something else I used to do when it came to my early days of grabbing the .eth before people were grabbing theirs. It was that big old ape follow ape stuff. So people would literally make a Twitter, buy a board ape, and then that's where they get their whole following was off their purchase. And that's why I was like, damn, these apes are strong. You get some guy with money to buy a board ape, make a fresh Twitter, and be like, yo, I just bought this ape, like this ape follow ape. And then I go and look up I'd see what traits the ape has, go look it up to make sure this guy really bought it. And it's like, oh, this guy bought, 16 hours ago. And then he made the Twitter. Like, okay, it probably is him. Well, there's this guy named, again, I don't know his first name. He just went by like Mr. Cartrude or something. And it turns out he worked for Tron Chain. Like he worked at Tron Chain. He was like a part of the team. And he bought this ape. And I seen he bought a bunch of Azukis and stuff. And I went and registered Cartrude.eth and I DM'd him immediately on Twitter. And I was like, okay, this guy's got money. I tried to get my first big fish. And I listed it for like, I don't know, 3.5 or something. No, it was like 10K at the time. And he seen it and he like got really salty with me. He was like pissed off with the way I was trying to do it, which I understood. It's understandable. And that's why I should have just did do a burner, but I didn't. I was like real vocal about it. And what he did was he said, yeah, I want the name, but not for that price. That's when I was like, okay, we got him, boys. So, I negotiated a little bit, and he was just really mad. I want to come down on the price, even though like the dude was loaded. And I woke up the next day and I had like 8 people on my Twitter just tagging me, bashing me all over my page. And I go
What?
to their page, they all worked at Tron. So like they all work for Tron Chain. I'm like, this dude really told his team that like somebody sniped his name. And these guys came and were trying to like make me look like a scammer. Like they were spamming my page, calling me a scammer. I'm over here hiding like replies. And all I did was buy his name. It's not like I didn't do anything really bad. He could have curveballed me, but he sent the team after me, man. So,
That's fun.
yeah, I was like, man, these guys are gonna make me look terrible. Like, I don't want to look like a scammer. And that's just it. I should have did the burner wallet at them. And I said, look, I'm gonna drop the price for like 24 hours. So if you don't get it, like, then that's just what it is. And I dropped it down to 1.25. And then he ended up hitting the purchase like immediately. So that was
Man,
like, That was like one of my biggest sales at the time, and that was like another like 4K or something like that. It was just a lot, and I felt bad doing it the way I did it. Um, but I'm a bottom feeder, bro. It's not the same no more. And that's just at the time, like, come on now, we all came here for some money. Like some people here for the tech. I'm not a tech savvy guy. Like I'm learning as I go, and I definitely like I see the potential now, and I'm finding my pocket and finding where I can play a role aside from just buying and squatting names. But at the time, that wasn't the case, man. I told like so at the beginning, guys, I didn't have investing in the family. I didn't have like funds to really invest and to say I can buy this name before this person and make some money that could literally like really help me out. I was about it, and it wasn't. You know, I don't need 10 ETH or nothing, but I did. I told the squat move a few times. I didn't do it off no burner. I did it underneath Gweiman. I did it for a few folks, but I tried to be reasonable with them all. So to get back to where we were, no, I didn't think it was gonna go as fast as it has because of how early and how I could operate in the space and doing these squattings, doing the just yeah, just playing the field the way I was. I was like, okay, so this might take a while. And again, nobody was tweeting about it. That's why I didn't really care if I added somebody like, hey, I got your name and stuff like that, because nobody was like, damn, Gwayman's being like an ass or Gwayman looking bad out here. Yo, I had like 300 followers. I didn't care how I looked. It was like
Heard how the
I tried.
bags look, that's all that matters.
Yeah, I tried selling my damn name for 0.33. You think I really care? But, it's like,
I was for a while there, I was going to, somebody in, I think Twitter told me about it, a Web3, job board online. So, basically, I would just sit there for, a couple hours each day and just go through each listing, and first I would do the company name because obviously they're in the space, like, you'd have to think that if they don't already have a .eth, they're, gonna be
gonna
interested in
want
getting one at
it.
some point, and then I'd go to the website and I'd look at the about us or like our team page, and I'd get like the top 3 most important people, I'd get their names, and dude, I never made a single sale, but I thought it sounded good when I was doing it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's kinda how I was, but I got a little bit impatient to where instead of just buying in, like, yeah, they'll come. Again, I didn't expect it to move that fast, so I was coming to them. I was cold emailing, cold DMing. I was doing some things that, like, as I'm here now and I've talked to other more experienced people that are in the space that were big into .com names, people that really got money and have made money through, like, domaining. Uh, I was doing things I shouldn't have been doing, and again, it's because I didn't care that much at the time. I was trying to get to the bag, which I was successful on a few times, but it faster than I expected. I started to really like enjoy the space, and I was meeting cool people. And this little fake Gwayman name that I came up with that I was trying to sell, I delisted it and I started to like really brand it. I was like, no, man, like there's money to be made out here, and aside from that, like there's connections to be made. It's not just it's different than like anything I've ever done. So I was like, maybe I should take this a little bit more serious. And I just tried to start operating more like professional with it. I didn't want to, and that's one thing I never want to do is I never want to like make a deal with somebody that makes them like, go to someone else and say, don't do business with me. At the time, I didn't care, but as I go farther, um, I don't want that. Your name is all you got. It's like your name and your word. So I try to stick to that, and I try to keep it clean now. I try to just really like. I used to not care how I looked, and now I definitely do.
Well, I think the thing is you see yourself in the growth in the space and you're changing along with it. I mean, let's be honest, like going into this space, like we were all degens, just trying to find any name possible and try to make a quick buck off it. But now,
Mhm.
like you said, as we're doing the learning process, we're starting to realize that, hey, like this is the next big thing right here. So, well, it's pretty awesome. But yeah, man. So we got that out the way. Now, question is, what are you doing currently?
So currently, I'm kind of involved with like a lot, and some things have been put on hold because it's like the plate got so full that there was things I agreed to help with that. After talking with some people I was working with, I'm like, look. I don't want to bite off more than I can chew. And like you guys got things going on, I got things going on. There's cool ideas, there was cool tools. There was just a lot that it was like, all right, somebody could beat us to this, but I'm only one man. I do still have a real life. I do still got a baby to raise. I do still got a full-time job. So it's like without going crazy, I gotta like pick what I want to put my time towards. So right now, and what I've been doing is, and this might sound really cliche and just like silly, but I'm trying to build my net worth, um, my network, I should say. I'm trying to really network out here. So when I see an opportunity to um, share my knowledge, I've been doing so, and I'm not the brightest, but it's like I got a little bit of experience now, and I just look at it different, and I when I get into something, I get super like obsessive over it, and that's kind of what happened with this ENS Web3 stuff. And it's not just buying pictures to flip pictures, which I'm not throwing shade on that. It's not just buying names to flip names. I'm definitely not throwing shade on that because I do that. But I'm like, it's crazy, man. Like the people I talk to every day, I got friends in all different states. I got friends all over the country now. Like I had a group of friends that I'd like link up with like twice a week, and we text all day long that I know in real life. And they haven't heard from me in like 6 months. Like I check in with them, but it's just like there's nothing really going on around me that's like it doesn't like inspire me. It don't make me feel like I'm doing something with like my life, if that makes sense. And that's not in a depressing way. It's just sometimes you got to find different things, and that's what this Web3 has become for me. So it's like I don't care that we're in a bear market either. I don't care that my NFTs are down. I don't care if my names aren't selling right now because there are people that I've met that are doing some dope shit. There are people that I've met that are very smart and very, wise. They're older than me. They have real life experience. They're teaching me things through a freaking screen that like, my parents are a little bit more old school. They won't get it. They think like you gotta like know a person in real life to call them like your friend. And I'm like, man, my closest homies are on this screen. Like these are people that we wake up, we tell each other GM, we're up late, we tell each other good
GM.
night.
Right.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It'd be late. We tell them GM, man, we'll crack a beer together. It'll be, bedtime this way, and I'm cracking a beer for the night, like a one beer, and my buddies cracking beer at the same time. Like it's like you guys get it, I'm sure. We're a little bit more closer in age. Just kind of where the world's going. So what I'm building right now is my relationships. And then as far as like an actual like what kind of work am I doing? You guys are probably familiar with Bloom Capital. He launched Domain Plug, which is a Web3 marketplace for buying and selling and trading these ENS names. So it's almost like our goal over there. I say our goal because he approached me and asked me to be part of the team. He wants me to help be like just represent the brand, help be the guy on Twitter that answers questions. I do weekly spaces for us, and he just wants to put himself around people that are experienced and kind of have a face in the space. Which, again, just through my silliness on Twitter, my little extortings that went wrong, my the just the memes that happened, like Franklin buying that was my name that he bought off himself for 100 East because he got like flipped. There was Brantley got canceled, and I made the account called Brantley. I was Brantley Willigan for like a month and a half. And I was like being like just a menace, Brantley, to where I was like, you guys already canceled him. Like, y'all can't cancel me. So I was saying whatever I wanted and doing whatever I wanted to kind of show, like, you guys didn't have to do him like that. It wasn't that serious. We can all have a laugh, even if we have different opinions. So it was like, I was just on demon time where I was Brantley. And people loved it. My account blew up off being Brantley. Nick.eth followed me. I gained like 1,200 followers off like a
Really?
month of, yeah, dude, I'm just off joking. Like Nick.eth still follows me. And it was during the Brantley stuff because I was just out there. This is inappropriate, but I remember the one day I said, I was like, why am I back and better than ever? Like you guys can't cancel me. And I did a thread. And at the bottom of the thread, there's just one post, and all I did was tag unstoppable domain. And I said, y'all pussies. Like I was just out there wilding, bro. I was
Going
anything
all
that can
in.
make me laugh in my head. I was like, I'm just gonna do it to Twitter. So yeah, just from so much little silly stuff that just like really help grow the name. People are like, "Hey, man, you got a little bit of like a network out here. You got a little bit of just you get more views than I do. You get more engagement and stuff like that." And a lot of people think it comes down to engagement on if you can sell names, which is true. I can't deny that. You get one of these bigger guys to steal your name or post about your name and call it a good deal. You got some other guy that's going to go, well, he's a smart guy, so if he thinks it's a good deal, then I should buy it at that price and stuff like that. So if they didn't see it, then if they didn't see you say it's a good deal, they probably won't even think twice. But it's just how it goes. So there is, once you get a following out here, and I don't show projects. I'll show my names. I'll show my names. I'll do that. But if I show my names, I do it in a funny way. But back to the question. My apologies. So
Oh,
what am I building now? I'm working with Blue. I'm over at Domain Plug. It was actually some months beforehand. I knew what he was working on this whole time. He's been working on this stuff all year. It was back in like February or March. It was before the digit craze and before any other marketplace launched that he told me he was working on this. It just took longer to where we were like just buddies and we were actually talking about it. And he was like, I needed like a sick name. And then in a funny way, I own domainplug.eth. I was like, hey, bro, you can name a domain plug, like kind of just trying to picture my name. And he said, I actually really like that. I said, well, it's mine, dude. Like I said, like I'll get it to you if you really want it. And he was trying to buy it for like a good bit and stuff like that. He was pretty much down to pay whatever. But we were actually homies and I seen what he was trying to do. I know he's got like a name in the space and I had faith in what he was doing and I kind of just wanted to play a role. So I said, "Look, bro, I don't even want like a lot. Like I did for like half an ETH, and the ETH was kind of down. It wasn't down too bad, so it was a good payday still. But I didn't like, oh, you want this thing to build a brand? Like I need blah blah blah. I said, bro, just give me half an ETH. Like that'll be fine with me. I told him, no, I said, all I ask is that once this thing's up and running, like you remember me and maybe like find a role for myself. Fast forward, months later, and he's launching Domain Plug, and he calls me because we have each other's phone number. He calls me like, yo, I was thinking. uh, why don't you come on the team? Like, I just want you to help, like, be a voice out here, help, like, talking spaces, help answer questions, help just help be a face of this thing. And I was honored. So I told him, yeah, bro, I'm down. We didn't even talk about he's like, we could talk about we can talk about like anything, payments or schedule or like whatever you need. I said, bro, I said, look, just yes. I was like, yes, right now. I said, we can talk about that stuff later. Just know, like, yes, I don't need to think twice. I don't even want to have another phone call. I said, I want to be on the team. So I was all over that one. He was like, I like that. So we sorted out everything else later on, but I just wanted to be a part. So that's where I'm at with Domain Plug. And then I think I can leak it here. As you guys know, and this is where again growing with the space. I like what Alex said because my bad, Alexander. Alexander sounded a little bit more professional. So I was like, yeah, Alexander. But
The crypto
so
report is just fine.
yeah, crypto reporter. But so so Matt Higgins from everyone knows him from the Shark Tank, but he's actually been involved in a whole lot more. For people that do a little deep dive on him,
they just got a
he's
book,
involved in a
right?
lot. Yeah,
Or wrote
yeah,
a
I'm
book, I
actually,
think.
yeah, I'm helping him with that. That's what I'm about to leak right here.
Okay.
So he also owns part of VaynerMedia. I don't know if you guys know, but Gary Vee is such a big name in the space. Matt Higgins helped Gary Vee get like put on. Like Gary Vee's always been a grinder and doing his thing, but Matt Higgins is one of the people that really gave him like a shot. They got a cool little story if you go and watch their interview on Gary's show. About how they like met in like a call, like he went and met him at like a donut shop and like Gary kind of tell him his plans. And Gary was just this little, Gary Vee, just imagine sitting at a table with him when he wants to tell you about something he's excited about. Like it's probably a handful of his little excited self, but he's genius in his own way. But him and Matt, they've literally been working together for like a decade now,
I did not
over a
know that.
decade. Yeah, yeah. So he's part of VaynerMedia. He kind of like helped with it early on, and again he helped Gary kind of get one of his big breaks. So they're good buddies. They're pretty much family. And Matt was on Twitter because there was D Farmer. I do believe it was D Farmer. A big old he's a crypto or NFT influencer. He got a board ape and stuff. Well, one day he was like saying he'll buy any 10K Solana digits for $200 like right now. And what it was is people seeing the success of ENS and the .eth 10K Club and 999, and then they tried to mimic it with Solana names. So he was on there kind of, that was his way of showing it. People might not realize it, but like he already had a bunch. He registered a shit ton, and then he was like, "I'll buy any of your names because that's how people go. Oh crap! Well, these things might be valuable, so like maybe I should get some." And well, Matt Higgins commented. I knew Matt Higgins from Shark Tank. That's where I mainly knew him from at the time. And he commented, he said, I'm not familiar with what you're talking about here. Can you bring me up to speed? And then like the farmer started like kind of shilling on like this whole Solana name thing, talking about how they're going to be valuable, just like the dot .eth. And I just commented just because I was like, whatever. I was just like, I seen a chance to see some big eyes on it. And I was like, hey, uh, don't listen to this. I said, if you're gonna look into any blockchain naming system, you need to look into ENS. I said, this guy is just talking about Solana because he's hoping that what happens here is what already happened over there. And you got money, and even if these things are a couple ETH, like, you can afford one of those. So like I was like, you're gonna take your time to go and look into anything, like look into what's already been successful and why this guy is trying to mimic it. So I said, don't waste your time. Like, please look at the ENS names. And while I was waiting for like a response, a few people were liking it. I sent a tweet to a few friends. I'm like, yo, blow this up, like make them see it. I went and registered his at or his handle was M Higgins for like Matt Higgins. I went and registered mhiggins.eth. And I replied to the post before he even got to respond. I said, hey, I actually just registered this name for you. And again, this is why I mentioned growing with the space, because it wasn't an extortion thing here. I'm way past that. I'm not just trying to get a buck off your name. I said, I would like to gift it to you. Because what people don't get, and it's like, man, even if you got a good name, even if you got like a good digit, I tried helping broker another digit name for a big name that would have blew the space up. But he wanted this certain digit that was important to him. And I knew the guy that had it. And when I told the guy who wanted it, the guy like didn't care about like what it would do for the space. He was like, "Oh well, since he's so and so, I need this much. I don't care if he's famous or not. I'm not gonna give him a deal." And I'm like, "Bro, if you have 100 of these things and you can sell one for a very good price, like I wasn't trying to get it for free. I'm talking a very good price, but it just wasn't enough. Uh, a very good price. Think about what it would do for your other 99 names. Like, quit worrying about this one sale that could be it. Like this would be huge for everybody involved. I'm talking about everybody in this call. I'm talking about my buddies that only have 20 names that aren't digits, like this space. And this guy just didn't want to budge. But that's a combo for another day. But I'm trying not to be like that. So when I sniped the guy's name, I commented and I said, hey, I want to gift this to you and I want you to play with it and do as you please. He ended up responding. He said, "Wow, thank you very much. Like I'd rather pay for it. How can you get this to me?" And then he came to my DMs and was like, "Hey, thank you very much for that." The way he came so fast, I almost didn't think it was the real Matt Higgins. And I ended up getting his name. Before I sent him his name, there was about a 48-hour trial of him like questioning me like nonstop in the DMs about what is this? Well, why should I care? Blah blah blah. And I just like I took it as serious as I could, and I totally shilled ENS as a whole to him. I'm sending him links to videos. I'm sending him everything I ever read about it. Pretty much every reason I have conviction. So I sent him all this stuff, and he's seen the point. He was like, okay, this actually seems like some revolutionary like technology. Like this seems major. I said, yeah, man. Like you just gotta dip your feet in. Try it out. Like, I bought your first one for you, so here you go. And I sent him his name. I showed him how to hook it up. I showed him how to like send crypto to himself for the first time using it, and he was like, "Holy shit!" He like couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe like what it was doing for like the wallet address. And now just the wallet address had him blown away. And he goes, "So what do I owe you?" And now that was the question. I'm like, "Holy crap! This guy's worth 165 million dollars, and he's asking me what he owes me." And just for that character, for my name, for everything, I looked at him and I said, "I don't want nothing, bro." Um, he said, "I insist I pay." And I was like, "I'm dead serious." I said, "When I commented on the post, I said, I won't charge you. I said, I have a gift for you." I was like, so keep it." I said, "All I ask is that if you really see like the potential here, maybe throw it in your Twitter name for like the exposure." And he ended up doing so. But so I just gifted it to him, bro. I didn't charge him for it. That's not why I did it. And that was, I think, the right approach, because, and this is just it too, within this space and where I'm learning and where I'm trying to play my role, because I'm a nobody, but I am a human just like everybody else. And everybody else, people can use a break. It's like, just because you got money don't mean that you got to get extorted every time. It doesn't mean you got to pay big every time just because you can, stuff like that. And me, I'm like, okay, I can charge this guy right now or try to, and then boom, what I make happen each day, maybe an ETH, and then that's it. Like, people remember the tweet for a little bit. This is somebody I'd rather spend some time with. And maybe like if he sees, hey, I'm a good person, maybe he'd like, he'd want to just work with me more, talk with me more. And so I ended up gifting him his name. And then since that day, I talk with Matt Higgins every day, and that was about 2.5 months ago. We actually we have each other's phone number. I think I had a phone call with him yesterday. So it's like
That's awesome.
yeah, it's insane, bro. It's like it's so insane. I remember when he asked my phone number, I said, "You want like my real number?" He said, "Yeah, I'd like to talk." And so I just gave it to him. And then he got a hold of me. He said, "Before I like get too serious with you, he's like, I'd like to know who I'm working with." And I doxed to him. I gave him I sent a picture of myself. I let him see me on a FaceTime. I gave him my information. I gave him my real name. I told him what I do. I told him my age. Like, I didn't I looked at it and I said, I could hide behind this stuff and again try to make an eat off this guy, or I could be an open book. And it could bite me or it's an opportunity. But how often do you get that opportunity where somebody's like, who are you? Tell me about you. And I told him straight up, like just like I'm telling you guys, I'm no genius, man. But I understand like people. And once I'm in a space, I get obsessive about it. And once you get obsessive about something, you learn about it. I've learned at least enough to where somebody like himself who doesn't have the time to put in, let me be that person. Like, bro, look, I go to my full-time job, I come home and I know life Twitter. Like I quit playing the video games, I quit doing the going out, I quit. I also got a child now, and I got a 6-month-old daughter. But so that all comes into play. But like in my free time, it goes to nerding out on this stuff. And that's what it's been since I got that airdrop, since I pretty much got that first name. So I at least have time that you don't have, and that's put into here. So I understand pricing more. I understand the market. I understand the way the engagement works. I just understand what's considered good, what's bad, the do's and the do nots. Save him a little bit of time, and he kind of like said that, like I'd like you to be like my personal, my personal like just if I need something, I'm gonna come to you. And this was no money on the table, no nothing brought up in that stuff. And so then he was like, kind of like, what do I buy? And I'm like, oh, snap. I said, well, if I had money, like I ended up showing him some things. I'm going a little bit too far into the story, but yeah, long story short,
Oh, that's interesting.
yeah, and that's, I feel like that's one of like the highlights of my past couple months. And it's something that's fun to share that I can't blast on Twitter. I choose not to. For the people that do listen to this, they'll at least get that little bit of insight. But, I was
Well, I
able
think
to
it's
join the
the
10. Go ahead,
I'm
go
s
ahead.
no, I was gonna say, I think it's not even just a highlight for you, it's a highlight for everybody in this space. I mean, somebody like him, you know, having one name, much less, investing in multiple ones and trying to learn more about, what it is in the community. I mean, that's a win for definitely everybody listening to this because they're obviously involved, but people who aren't even in the space yet, I mean, that's huge. So people like you doing this stuff, like that's why we're trying to find, people like yourself and Dylan and Sean and all the future guests that we have. Like we want more people to know about it. And like you said, there's, plenty of people who don't have the time to do this stuff. They don't have the time to get off work and be able to go on Twitter and learn about it. And while, I think ENS is getting better with some of the hires they have for like the marketing side of things, like it's still very early on that point. And so anybody in the community who can onboard people like yourself or just put out content to let people know, like that's going to be a big help for everyone.
And I agree completely. And that's where I see my little place. So it's like, no tech background, no marketing school, no, like, bro, I just work. I install flooring for a living. I run a business with my father. So it's literally me, him, him and myself in a work van. And then I do floors. And it's like, what the hell? Like anybody in real life, bro, they see me, they're like, what the hell could you teach me about finances? So I see this as like a chance for like somebody that doesn't get that chance and probably won't get that chance because I just don't have the criteria that most people look for. Um, the beauty of Web3, bro, it's like, you can't see what I look like, so you can't judge me. It's why I waited. Crypto Reporter seen me the other night. We had a podcast together, but up until then, bro, I just didn't show my face because it's like, well, what does that have to do with what I know? And some people, it might stop them from even giving me a chance to show what I know. So that's the beauty of Web3. You could sit behind a random picture, and you're judged off your actions, and you're judged off like what you can share. And that's something I can at least like do. Forget what I sound like, forget what I look like. Did you learn something from like anything I've done? And if that's the case, you'll give me a little bit more respect. And that's one thing this guy didn't hesitate to do, it is give me my respect. And so I ended up shilling him. Most people I think would try to sell him one of their names. I didn't sell him a single one of my names. I didn't even shill him a single one of my names. I don't even know if he knows what all I have. We talk about purchases, my recent purchases. Like I'll text him and I'll be like, "Oh, I got this," and he's like, "Oh, nice," and stuff like that. But I told him straight up, I'm like, yeah, bro, people are kind of going crazy about these digits right now. Like the 3-digit floor is at like 23 at the time or something. It ended up running to like 40 after he got in. So he was up and he's like, holy fuck, this kid knows what he's talking about. I'm like, it's down now, but it was good for the time. And I kind of told him, I said, look, bro, I'll tell you straight up, like I go for the words. I was like, I don't have a digit. I'll probably get a digit, but I don't have one. And then uh, s- I was over here thinking about if I should tell this other part or not.
Let's hear
So
it.
so long So what I was doing right, you guys think with somebody in his situation and just of his status, he can't DM you about working a deal because if the normal person sees him in their DMs asking for something that they have, they're gonna try to charge this man millions. They're gonna try to charge him a ridiculous amount of money, right? So when you're in that kind of situation, you got to find people that know how to play the field, know enough people in the field, and then have them do like the groundwork for you. And then that's kind of where I came into play. So I helped get him some names that he wants because people are more. I know a lot of people in this space at this point. I know a lot of people with good names, and when he kind of wants something, it's like I approach for it. Which I don't wanna say this because I think if anybody hears this and I come in their DMs to negotiate a deal, they're gonna assume it's for him. And that's not always the case. But, that's why I was hesitant, but you know what? It's this is what this is for. So, I get to play the middleman, the groundwork, and try to help him get what he wants. And it's not only him, he's introduced me to 2 or 3, high profile friends of his that, again, I'm like, "Holy fuck, I'm really talking to this guy." So I've been trying to help a few other people. I was able to help this other celebrity get his wife's name, which is Kimberly.eth, but I worked that deal on the DMs because these people, again, they can't approach. So I've been playing the middleman, kind of like a broker, but now I might make a little bit off a deal here and there. That's why I was able to scoop up a 10K was off pulling a couple deals for someone else. And they're like, holy crap, I'll give you 10% or whatever you save me off their current ask. So, if I save somebody 5 E's off of somebody's ask, I can get like 25, some stuff like that. It's a way to use my skills and my little negotiating and my buddy told me I have the gift of it's either the gift of gab or the gift of gab. I think it's gab, and I never knew what that
Yeah.
was. Yeah, I never knew what that was, bro. That's what I mean. Like when I say nobody that ain't that smart, like that's me. I just get lucky. He's like, you got the gift of gab, bro. And I had to Google it. I said, okay, that's pretty cool. But so yeah, man, I've been kind of just playing the field for a few of like my newer friends, I like to call them, and it's beneficial to all though because there's people out here with good names that they can't get them sold. And so if I approach you to help sell the name, don't get like I get it. If you want to hold the name forever, like do it. I can't tell you to sell it, but if you're actually looking for a sale, I see you shilling the name, and I come and I try to help it happen, like make it happen. Like just don't get greedy. Like we all can win here, and especially getting it into to other hands. It's good for the market, it's good for the volume, it's good for getting new people into this little echo chamber that we're in, or echo chamber. But it's like we're not just buying and selling off each other anymore. So I'm trying to make it to where I'm meeting these new people, I'm explaining it to them, and then I'm helping them get names that they want. But back on to what I'm doing with Higgins. So like I said, man, I'm talking with this guy every day. Like we're buddies at this point. I remember he called me one day, and it was him and his wife on video chat. He said to his wife, he goes, "This is my lover I'm always talking to." That's what he said. That's what he said to her. That's what he called me. He said, "This
Oh,
is why I'm on my phone so much." And she was like,
that's
"Well,
funny.
nice to meet you." I couldn't believe it, bro. Because it was just funny as hell. Like he's a funny dude, man. And he's even so he told me about this book idea. I told him about how you can use ENS with this book as far as subdomains, as far as token gating events based off of subdomains. A cool way to get the ENS crowd like really involved. That's what I was sharing with them, and he liked my ideas. So I have a few cool ideas I'm gonna be helping him with, and he actually just announced the book. I knew about the book probably about a month and a half ago, so I was helping him kind of plan for it. Um, so been working on him with this book idea, and inside that, working with it's been a couple like group meetings with him and like his team of like 8 people. Like I literally get on like a voice chat with them. Um, I did take a picture of the screen one day just in case, like nobody believes me, but I never shared it. But I had to show my dad because I told him who I was talking with and doing business with. He said, "Yeah, you're probably getting scammed." I'm like, "No, man." So
That is
but
great. I mean, that's just a crazy story so far. Like it's
dude,
incredible.
it's crazy. It's like something like you can't pay for that. You can't go to school and figure that out. People are like, man, could you imagine talking to one of these guys? And like I'm over here getting on like a video chat with him, and him and his team, and he's
Right.
introducing me to people, and he's like, yeah, this is my guy Gway. Like I'm doxing the videos and stuff. I'm trying to like there's real opportunity there, so I don't want to screw myself, and I want people to feel like they can work with me. So that's why I've been more open to showing my face and just being upfront with people because like. And like I told him, like I don't know it all, bro, but I know enough. And if I can just be upfront with people like that, and then they can put me in a position and give me a shot, and I give it like my all at certain things, I can go from laying this carpet to really like a Web3 full time type of gig, or just something, provide for myself, like put myself in a certain situation that I thought I'd never be in. And that's where just a little Twitter shill that started off as something I could have, I need 1 ETH for your name, bro. Yeah, I could have did that and cashed out 1 ETH and be like, yeah, I hit a lick, or or I could do it the way I did it. And I think it was the best approach. And I think if others even like were to, because it wasn't, that wasn't promised when that happened on Twitter. I didn't think that was going to happen. This guy could have took my name and just said, screw off and blocked me, like after I sent him the name or something. But he didn't do that. Which a funny side story. I don't know if you guys know it, but Bloom Capital. Uh, he was talking with Soldier Boy a couple of years ago. He got Soldier Boy his name.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, and then right after he got Soldier Boy his name, Soldier Boy blocked him. Like,
That's wild.
that's not me. It sounds like a soldier move though, if you think about it. But yeah, yeah. So it's like, that could have happened and it could have been the route, but I just did it for free. And I remember a few people because I was like trying to get into the 10K like the week after. People were like, bro, you should have just sold it to him for like enough to get into 10K. Like you're silly and stuff like that. I'm like, nah, man, y'all just don't get it. I've done that route, and most of the time, again, and this is what I learned from the Cartrude situation. Last time I tried to get some money off somebody for their name, I had their fucking team come and spam me, calling me a scammer and trying to make me look bad. So I was like, I don't want that again.
Right.
Uh, so I learned from it. It's like the little silly stuff back in the day that some people got mad about. At least I'm not still doing it. I'm trying to go about it better, more professional. I just see the real potential. And the thing is, when I run the idea by somebody, like I pretty much went on Shark Tank and pitched ENS because I had to talk with this guy for literally like a couple days before he even let me send it to his wallet or gave me a wallet address to send to because he was like, eh. So then the fact that within 48 hours of me telling you all I know, had you ready to receive it and dive deep into it as far as purchasing multiple 3 digits, multiple good names, other good names I can't tell you guys about just yet. And
Gold
just look,
Golden Bezos, is that what you're hinting at right there?
I can confirm not Golden
Ah,
Bezos. I do think I know who Golden Bezos is though.
is it the
Somebody put
Reddit
out.
guy, do you think, or
Yeah, yeah, I
yeah.
do. I do think so. Somebody has some good evidence, and it kind of added up. And I do think it's the Reddit guy. Could we be wrong? Probably, but that's the best answer I have so far for Golden Bezos. But it's not Mr. Wonderful. I can confirm that, and it's not Higgins. I can confirm that. So I could see it being the Reddit founder. But yeah, so currently working with Domain Plug. I'm still talking with Higgins very often, as far as just ENS as a whole, ENS adoption, because he has some cool ideas to help us grow this thing. Like he has marketing ideas, and I tried talking to like some team members that I know and I talked to before, and again, like even Nick follows me from the previous situation where I tried talking with Nick and trying to get him connected with the right people so they can like work together to really really push this thing. Uh, and then as far as myself, I was involved with a few little things that we have going on that just it isn't kind of like the main focus for some people. Like I'm sure Dylan might even brought it up. Like I don't know if he talked about We Finance. We Finance was an idea that just like the little group I'm in kind of came up with. I'm actually the one that registered We Finance.eth, but they ended up using it for the project, and it hasn't really done what we just haven't pushed it the way that we wanted to, but I think it's because everybody's so caught up in just like doing their own things, which is it's not wrong. It's just like we don't, you can't do too much, especially if you want to do things the right way. So like trying to do this, that, you're better off like focusing on 2 or 3 things and like executing there and then coming back to your ideas. So um yeah, man, I'm just networking. I'm continuing to one, I'm trying to up my bags, I'm trying to buy better names and be smarter with the ETH I do make. Um I've been helping with creative ideas with Higgins and just his Web3 endeavors that he wants to do and ways to incorporate ENS. I've met a couple of his friends who, because they asked me to, I won't say who, but just bigger people that could really help make an impact here. And I've helped them get a few names that they want, including like one guy got his wife's name. And then I've been actually really focused on brokering deals too. So people heard me say that on Twitter the one day, and they like instantly come to my DMs and like, "Yo, give me 50 ETH for this." And like that's not how it works. It's like I now have like a list of people that I talk with often, and they'll hit me up whenever they're looking to buy something. Like, hey, I got this much. Like what's a good buy right now? And I actually helped with sell.eth the other day for 30 ETH. So
That's
I
a
won't.
big
Yeah, it was a big one, bro. I thought it was a steal.
Mhm.
Again, because they asked, I can't say who, but it was just one of my people. And like the seller knows, the buyer knows. I did help that one come together, and a few others. Again, I won't link them all because I feel like it's kind of just disrespectful and it's bad for business. So I won't do that. But yeah, man, I just been really focus on brokering deals, focus on my position at domain plug, and then focusing on how I can still continue to play my role and like kind of seize the opportunity that we have. Because I get tired of hearing people say it. I know everybody does, but like we are early. There's a reason why these people I'm meeting now, they take a second to hear me out and then they're ready to buy things. And they'll buy things at a nice price too, because they're like, that's still a good price if we are as early as I think we are. And I'm not saying me, I'm saying that's what they say. So it's like we're not the only ones that think we're early.
Well, Higgins, I can't remember if it was today or yesterday. I saw it put out a tweet that was basically saying, the saying, "If we build it, they will come." Like basically saying that that never works. You have to actually get like the story of what the product or service is out there for people to know. And I think that, what you're saying about what you're doing for all these people, whether it's brokering or, just explaining it to them, like that is letting them know what's already been built. Like obviously ENS has so much potential, the infrastructure's there, the goals of it are there, but it's like, how do we get more people involved? And, things like the book that you're talking about, I don't know if you can talk about it a little bit more, what exactly it is. I know you mentioned something about subdomains. Like, is that something that could potentially, get some more people involved in ENS who haven't been exposed to it?
So I think so 100%. This is where I mean, I love ENS and I love the team, but I do wish that they would be more active. I'm glad that they hired Sadaf because she is active in the community, but they need that, man. They need to be more active because I'm out here making myself look like a fool sometimes, and I'm bringing in these new people. And a month or two ago, I tell them like, yeah, this name rapper is launching in a day, and then yesterday they announced that they pushed it back even further, which I don't know why. And I'm not trying to be like a critic here because I get like a lot goes into this stuff, but I just feel like it was really amplified that it was coming, be out any day and it's in like test mode. And this was months ago. So now it's like I had these ideas, I ran by these people and they're like, well, we can't do any of these ideas yet because the team keeps pushing them back. And then I've even had like Higgins reach out to the team and got like stiffed, like no response.
Really?
And it's like, man, when you guys have people that can really help this, you need to take advantage of that, especially when they're coming to you. Like they're coming to you saying, hey, I would like to help. Hey, I have ideas. Hey, how can I do something to help this? And then you guys are like complicated to talk with or like look like you don't care. It's like it's bad for all of us. And that's where like I'm like, well, damn, I wish they would do better at that. And I'm not saying hire me. I'm not saying um I'm not great at this shit, but like, it's just like there's certain things where I feel like anybody you guys are investing in names too. It's like you would want them to take those opportunities. You guys would want them to not sleep on that. Like they should be eager to, yes, what do you have to offer, or what do you have in mind, or what do you think we can do for these people that like do this stuff for a living, and they just like it's almost like they don't care. It's like man, that's frustrating. So as far as the subdomain rapper though, I thought this rapper would be out, but we're actually working with another team that kind of does subdomains with the ENS. So it's like we can still make this happen. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be pretty much if you buy enough books, which the limit is 5 books. If you buy 5 books, you get these advantages, and you'll see it at burnthebook.com. He has all these different things. Like you buy a certain amount of books, you can like go to like a Miami Dolphins game with them and stuff like that, which I don't think like the average person will, but if a school, hey, we got funding for a book, and the principal can pull the trigger on 500 books for like the school, he can experience that stuff like that. So there are people that do that stuff. But if you go and buy 5 books, you pretty much get like a free webinar session with him and Gary Vee.
For
So
just
so that
5 books, you get that?
yeah. So just
Oh,
5 books, and that's what I mean. It's like and that you spend an eighth, it's like point one, which when you think about what might come from it, some people will just pull the trigger. I did buy 5 books. I'm gonna pass a few out to my buddies, that I think could look at it, pass them out to some siblings, and hold one. And I did talk to him. I do want a signed copy of the book though, just buddy to buddy. So I'm gonna hold that one. But I got a few
Nice.
others that I'm just gonna pass out, and pretty much yeah. So you get the 5 books. Some advantages come with that you can see on the page, but also, and again, he hasn't leaked this yet, so you guys are getting the alpha. But we're going to be giving subdomains. There's going to be a whitelist for people that purchase in crypto, and if you buy at least 5, your name gets put on this whitelist. If you're on this whitelist, you will receive a subdomain to burntheboatsbook.eth. And with the subdomain, it will, you'll be part of. This is why I think that it will help grow the space, because we're gonna make it to where it's like a real life book club. But this is this is your pass into the book club. This is you showing that you're part of the book club. Um, and we're gonna add benefits to these subdomains. So that could be real life things. That could be virtual events. That could be airdrops. It could be really like anything. It's he's gonna end up announcing it, so I don't want to say too much, but one thing I will be helping with is a virtual we're gonna have like a virtual book party type deal where like we'll all be able to pull up and you'll be able to sit there and actually chat with him. Like he'll be on the mic and then he's gonna talk about his book, but what we're also gonna do is take a time to have a segment for ENS and why he sees the vision of ENS and why he thinks there's potential here and why did he dive in the way he did. So it's like you really will get to go into a room with this man pretty much from the safety of your own home and the safety of his, and ask this man questions that you might never get to ask, like somebody in his position. I don't know everyone's real life, so some people might be able to, but like that's an advantage.
That's really cool.
This, yeah, yeah, and that's just it. And then you have the subdomain where it's like he could do whatever with the subdomain one day. If he wants to airdrop everybody a free name, if he wants to airdrop everybody NFT, if he wants to one day he has a real life event and he's like, anybody with the subdomain, like you get in for free, like stuff like that. Like, you guys know kind of what the subdomains you can all do with them. So we're going to really put that to use, except for instead of like an 8 fest, we're going to do it with a book club. And nobody's done something like that yet that I've seen. So it's like, not only is it, cool that you get to be a part of something and you'll get these benefits, you also get a book that can be very beneficial. Um, you're getting to play your part in being like the first of this kind in a way. Because like if it's successful and it makes as much mainstream news as we're going to try to make it, I could see others taking that same approach moving forward. It'll be good for NFTs as a whole, and especially for EMS. So I think it's very, it's definitely has potential, and I think it could be game changing. And if we do it right, which I think we are, because we're taking it really serious, it would just be the first of its kind. He likes to call it groundbreaking, which makes sense. And even to pull off something like that and be the first to do it, you get enough kind of mainstream news off that and a little bit of just attention from that. So, trying to be really innovative with it, and out of all the things he could do, we're gonna do it with ENS. And I think that's very cool because how many people does he know? And wait till he has an event and only like the subdomain holders can come. And somebody goes, "Well, what's a subdomain? Well, how did I get one of those?" And like just thinking long term on it, I think it's really major and it's very, very cool.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, man, you say that you're a nobody in the space, but to be honest, you have such a like an amazing story that you can now tell and share with the world. Like you say that you don't do a lot, but you're able to give Matt Higgins his name, and from there became his lead guy, his main guy. You're the expert in the space now, and I think that's a beautiful thing about with what Web3 is able to do. It can take you places that you didn't have imagined, like, let alone a year ago. You're that dude for Matt Higgins now and for his friends, and not only that, but you're a broker as well. You're in the meetings, you're talking to them on a daily basis, like, only a Web3, man, only a Web3.
Only in Web3, bro. It really is crazy. And I try not to get a big head about it. And I even had somebody that like, bro, you're too modest about this. Cause like I told him a little bit deeper about what all I'm doing. He was like, you're way too modest about like this. But I just don't want to I don't want to mess it up, man. And it's funny because like even when like dude like he calls or like the first time I do like a video chat and stuff, I remember my girl, she was like, "Are you nervous?" I'm like, for some reason, I'm not. Cause again, I just keep that like, look, I'm a nobody, bro, and I'm just gonna go in there and like I'm just gonna just say what I know. Like it's all I did from the jump. I never faked nothing. I didn't try to sound smarter than I am. I didn't try to just gas anything up too much. I told it straight up. I said, if you see the potential, you see it. If you don't, you don't. And same thing with these meetings. It's like, that one question, where tell us who you are or tell us about you. It's always funny because I want to just be like, well, I'm 25. I lay floors, and yeah, I squat names. It's way deeper than that, But I try not to sound just a fathead with it. It just makes me feel cringy when I'm like, oh, I do this and I do that, and I do this. So I just try to. I don't want to mess it up. I think some people are like, they'll do some and then they get really cocky, or they're like, that's the only thing they could talk about. I had people that were trying to they wanted to do like a spaces revolved around me onboarding Matt Higgins and have all these people and like these questions, pretty much an interview on spaces. Um, and it was nice, man. It was I'll just say it was before Domain Plug launched. It was actually ENS Vision. They wanted to bring me onto a vision space and have like everybody in there and blah blah blah. And I just didn't wanna do it. I just felt kinda, like, funky. I was like, "It'd be cool," and don't get me wrong, enough people gave me my flowers, enough people hit me with the DMs, enough people kinda showed love, and they know what I did. But I feel like when you do something, it's like the only thing you can talk about, or, "Hey, remember when I did this? Hey, remember when I did this?" Or, "Hey, I just did this." Um, I don't know, it's, like, cringy to me, and it just makes me feel like, it's like, "Dude, shut up about what you did. We all know." So, I just try to avoid that. So I try like it happened, and I've reaped the benefits from it, and I'm blessed to be where I am. Thank you Web3, and thank you just the learning lessons up until now, even from like the silly, to just conflicts I've had, and just a lot of the things that it's all stepping stones and learning, and like once the real opportunity came, but to do something good with my time here, I think I executed correctly with it, and now I'm getting to really, it's put me on like a whole new path. I like my I'm still working my day job. I'm still doing this and that, but I'm like coming home to phone calls that I never like could even imagine, and I'm helping work with people that I never thought I would talk to. Like I thought these people would never know who I am, and it's just crazy, man. So I am honored, and I'm very very lucky. But I just try not to get a big head or like overly gas myself, because I just think that that's when you end up, you get too confident in yourself and you start to look like act an ass. You'll lose what you have going. So I try to just keep it rolling smooth, keep it chill. I try not to get nervous when I'm in the situations, and I try not to like gloat about things I've done. That's why even with certain deals, I told you guys about a few in here that and there's many I won't talk about, but I just don't want to do it all on Twitter. I don't want to do it all to everybody, because I think it kind of looks unprofessional. Maybe the person that I helped do a deal with, maybe they won't want to like work with me again because the way I acted afterwards and stuff like that. Just again, like I said, I'm trying to really really do it right. It's not Gweiman trying to sell his name for 0.33 anymore, and it's not make the first quarter ETH I can. It's like I'm trying to really move correctly out here.
That is amazing, man. And the crazy thing is you are doing it correctly. You're an advisor now, you're a broker now, you're a consultant now, you're an expert. You are an ENS expert. And people are going to look down the line, people are going to be like, oh yeah, that's great, man. I know the go-to dude. And I think that's amazing. It's amazing. So other question for you. So what is that ENS name that you're eyeing right now? Or what if you could get that one ENS name, what would it be?
Mm. All right, so it was a couple weeks ago. I got two answers. I got two answers. One I could answer with a crazy digit or something like that, something I think would go up. But I'm looking at ENS as a whole. I'd want a really cool name. And one name I really wanted that I almost took a swing at. I was about to liquidate everything I had to get it. This might sound silly too. Was
No, you were
uh,
serious.
yeah, it was homie.eth, HOMIE. I just thought it was a banger, man. It was 5 letters. It'd be cheap. It's like clean as hell. I got homies. They call me homie. It's just like that's like the new school friend, and it's just to be like the homie dot ETH would be fired. It was on sale for like 4.69, and I was a little bit short at the time, so I didn't liquidate all my stuff to get it. But I did go and register the homie, so I got DAHOMIE. It was a cope session type thing. But if I could get any name, if I'm honest, and this would be slight docs, but I would want Cam.eth, CAM.eth. And that just because that's important to me. I think owning your name would be fire. I would want Cam.eth if I could get anything.
to be honest. I think can short 3 letter. And come on now, like no brainer, no brainer. But
Yeah.
I definitely, but I've definitely been there before. It's like I'm gonna liquidate every single one of these names just to get that one grow. So definitely know what you mean by that.
Totally for me.
It's been, amazing listening to what you've done in the space, but, not only what you've done, but how you've done it. I mean, hearing, your backstory with not really having any sort of tech experience or, you know, any connections in the space and really learning it all yourself is impressive and interesting to hear. Um, that's kind of what the crypto reporter and I are trying to do here is, basically create something where people can go and learn about it and can go and find out more about it without having to be an expert in tech or something like that. Like the more we can do that, like we've been saying this whole time, like the more you can help onboard, people like Matt Higgins and his friends and really just everyday people, whatever that looks like, whether it's a tweet, a phone call, whatever that is. Like that's what's going to drive this community and this project into something, crazy, crazy big that we all see that it can be today. So again, I just wanted to say thank you for coming on. I really appreciate your time and thank you for doing this for us.
Most definitely, most definitely. You guys got the right idea though. That's one other thing I am working on. I forgot to mention is the YouTube show with Gary Palmer Jr. He's running it, but he asked me to come and kind of be like a main face that's on there. So I hop on there on the weekdays. I'm able to. We're just trying to take this stuff to other platforms, man. Not just Twitter. Get out of our little bubble and really expand. I think Twitter is the 15th most like used app in the world or something like that, and YouTube is number two. So, and again, I told you guys my story. I started on like the YouTube stocks, and then it taught me Ethereum, and then like Twitter taught me some other stuff. And but YouTube is a major platform, so I've been actually showing my face over there and just trying to bring as much content as I can, be around the right people that will hold me accountable to show up and help produce content. And then just like you guys are doing here, it's really cool. And I didn't realize that Crypto Reporter was involved. That's really cool too, because I like Crypto Reporter. He's on the morning show a lot. I think he carries himself very well. I'm a fan of Crypto Reporter. Central, I think that this might be the first time I've chatted with you. I'm not sure who you are on Twitter, like as a just an individual profile.
Yeah, I've kind of changed it a lot. Like I said, I didn't really know what I was doing at first. And I don't really have a big following either. I've got like maybe 300 followers. I'm actually Invest.eth and the Ninja are the two ones that I usually go by.
Like
Um,
DA and I.
no, like THE.
Okay, okay, okay. I was gonna say we took the same approach with
Yeah.
my homie and your ninja, but yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Pretty
it's a
cool.
good it's a good runner up. But yeah, no, you guys got the right idea because there's not a lot of people doing this. I think it's really cool. I actually thought about having a few people on like a YouTube show to give them some interviews, kind of like this. But I think you guys got this on lock and you guys are handling it well. So yeah, just being early, man. And it's crazy the time flies. Like last year I went from squat names to like this year, everything that's happened just over the past 12 months, people I've met. It's really crazy once you just kind of stay consistent and you kind of know life, the stuff, but it's all it's all in the best intentions. So I think that you guys are onto something, and even just being the first to do it. I seen this is a weird request, but it's like before we go, I seen you guys uploaded a clip of Dylan talking on Twitter where you like showed like his subtitles and stuff.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, no, no. Go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say so originally when I started this, the vision with it was to be like a full like news platform. Like I was doing like news articles, market report with 3402. She was helping me out with that. I was doing like daily deals with ENS trading posts. Like I was trying to do like so much stuff. And it's similar to what you were talking about, limiting yourself to two or three things and doing them really well. So after a couple weeks of doing that, I kind of reflected on it and talking to the crypto reporter, and just hearing his thoughts on things as well. It was just like this makes sense to go about it with like a podcast approach and build something around that. So that's kind of what we're doing. We're getting onto YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. I'm not sure if you had a chance to see it yet, but we did the first episode with Sean. We actually are turning all of them. Yours will be the same way. We're turning all of them into animated cartoons. So we'll be able to
What?
put yeah. We have one on our Twitter, I think a clip of it. But like each week we'll have a new episode that's like a cartoon. We're gonna be putting more out like the video you were talking about, with the highlights on the words and everything like that. Like, we're really just trying to use these conversations and break them up into the highlights and just put it out every week and just let people hear about it and hopefully get them interested to wanna listen to the full episode.
No, that's super cool, bro. That animated thing got me excited. I'm sure doing a 2 hour long interview won't be very cheap or easy to do with that. But even if you clip it to just like important key parts, like like a 2 minute or 60 second, that'd be killer. I think that's really really cool.
So with what you were saying with the animated, videos, like even the long ones, I actually, I found a guy who he's doing the full videos, like the one from last week was like an hour and a half, we're getting the full animation. The
That's
first
so
one was
cool.
a fully animated 35-minute one, and you can check them out on YouTube. We, just set up a channel, but it is cool, and, I'm talking with him to do some better things each week with, like, the movements and things like that, so, I think it has a lot of potential. I mean, it's obviously in the early stages, but just trying to grow it a little bit more each week.
Oh, that's so sick, bro. People are gonna watch that. Like I'd watch it. Like those little clips are kind of funny too. Like I just put the seal on today, but imagine just the seal at the table talking. Like that's fire. No, I'm really excited for that. So before I leave, I'm gonna give like a 30 second. Like if I do see some subtitles on Twitter, hopefully like this will be it.
Go
All
for it.
right, so
We got you.
I just want to say, we are here in Web3, and in Web3, if you can find a pocket to put yourself in and find a way to really, just execute in the lane that you're in. You don't have to be a special anybody. You don't have to be a genius. You don't have to have a tech background. You don't even have to be that good with people. Um, all you need to do is put in some time, watch and learn. And then, like I said, when you see a chance for you to do something that nobody's doing, or you see an opportunity that you are like, man, somebody should do this, you should try to do it. You never know where you might end up with it, and you never know what's on the other side of that door, and it doesn't hurt to try. So you don't got to be, you know, you could be a nobody and then end up being a somebody, and that's what I've learned from Web3. It's why I'm addicted to it now, and it's why like every day I'm still on here, no life in it, and I'm trying to find that next pocket that I can just execute and see what I can do for myself. So I think many people can do the same, and to just put the nerves aside and take a shot. So that's what I had to say about Web3 and what I've learned here so far. And I thank you guys for having me on the show.
Yeah, thanks again for coming on, and I can promise you, you will definitely see that clip on Twitter at some point this week, so be on the lookout for it.
I'm excited, man. Like, thank you very much.